Welcome to the second day of exploring Big Bend National Park. In my previous video, I've shown you the Chisos Canyon, taken you across the border to Mexico, and shared some amazing sights on the eastern side of the park. Today we'll be exploring the western side, beginning with the Big Bend's famous Santa Elena Canyon, before hopping on a scenic 30-mile drive called the Ross Maxwell Scenic Drive. I'll show you some of the overlooks and hikes that cannot be missed. A warm welcome from one of the least visited national parks in the US, Big Bend. I am standing in front of Santa Elena Canyon, and this is where we begin today's adventures. I am off onto my first hike of the day, the Santa Elena Canyon. This 1.6 mile loop takes you inside of the canyon until the hike reaches the water, and you can be surrounded by the 1,500 foot tall walls of the Santa Elena Canyon. It is one of the most spectacular canyons here, and if you watched my video from last week, you saw the Chisos Canyon. Those are the two beautiful canyons that you can find here in the park. When you are doing this hike, right at the start of the hike, you'll cross the Rio Grande here, and there's a small stream crossing. There's a trail that's on the other side, and that continues into the canyon. The only way to cross over is to walk in through this clay lake. Now when you take a step in, your foot begins to sink like a quicksand, and you can see my knee is almost knee deep, and I'm afraid it only gets deeper. That was a lot of work just going through that mud. Be careful, because as you step into that crossing, your knee will probably sink knee deep into that mud, and you have to be careful because it's super slippery. One wrong step and you end up completely dirty in mud. Got myself muddy a little bit, but we're going up these switchbacks to the overlook of Santa Elena. I've seen a fair share of canyons in my life, and this is definitely by far one of my favorite ones. I've been to Zion, but I have not yet done the Narrows hike, which is another beautiful place in the Southwest. I've been to the Grand Canyon, of course. I've been to the Cascade Canyon and Grand Tetons. They're all so unique, and you can see so many canyons in your lifetime. Yeah, every time you see something new, like these walls over 1,500 feet tall surrounding you, it always puts a smile on your face. This is the end of the trail. As you can see, the canyon continues on. It snakes its way around, making it more narrow and narrow. It is absolutely beautiful. A lot of shade on this trail, so it is really good in a heat like this. But if you want to explore more of this, you can check out some of the outfitters from the local area. There's a town of Terlingua where there's a lot of campsites, Airbnbs, and also outfitters that can take you on tours through this canyon. Crossing the stream is not the easiest. You guys can see my knees are pretty sunken, but it was so worth it to check out one of the most beautiful canyons here in the park. Now I am going back to my car, and we'll be taking you on a 30-mile scenic drive on the Ross Maxwell Drive. It is one of the best roads here in the park, and it takes you through some of the best overlooks in the entire park. The Rio Grande River is a natural border between USA and Mexico. For over 30 miles, it hugs around the area of Big Bend National Park. It is one of the major riverways here in the United States. It originates in the San Juan Mountains in the southwest of Colorado and makes its way all the way for over 2,000 miles down to the Gulf of Mexico. I had to stop here and show you guys because the colors of the rocks change, the shadows and the different color hues were just simply too good to pass up. Behind me is Cerro Castellan, which is the mountain peak named after the nearby town of Castellon. It is beautiful, and the remains of this area are from many millions of years ago from volcanic eruptions. Yes, the mountains that you see here in Big Bend were formed by volcanic eruptions millions of years ago. Next overlook is a very popular one, the mule ears, just back there. You can actually hike to them. There's a trail right behind me. It's 2 miles one way, but in this heat, when it's over 100-degree weather, I don't recommend it. Besides, we have a very nice overlook here. And it kind of does look like donkey ears, doesn't it? I'm taking a break from driving and going on a short hike. It's a half a mile one way into the Box Canyon right in front of me. It's the lower Burro Mesa pour-off. So there's actually 2 hikes, one from each side of the mountain. I'm taking the short one because in this heat, it is not advisable to be out in the sun for too long. And look at all the cool, beautiful, colorful cactuses that I'm passing by on my way here. It's a really cool trail. Here is the end of the trail, the pour-off I was mentioning. This is where I believe comes from the flash floods, when the water carries all the rocks and the debris down from the top and carries them all the way over through this creek. Really cool hike, little shade at the end to enjoy and take in the views. And then we're gonna hop back onto Ross Maxwell Drive and continue exploring the overlooks. This is the Sotol Overlook, one of the best overlooks in the entire park. If you look around me, you can see the Chisos Mountains behind me, which is the heart of the Big Bend National Park. And in the distance, maybe you can see a crack in the wall. That's where the Santa Elena Canyon is. Now this overlook gets its name from the spear-like shrubs that grow here. And if you look over in the distance, this whole entire area is predominantly covered by the Chihuahuan deserts, the largest desert in North America, which stretches from the white sand dunes in New Mexico, ending in Mexico City down in Mexico. The road behind me is the Chisos Basin Trail. It leads us right into the central area of the Big Bend National Park. I am here in Chisos Basin. Behind me is the famous window trail through which the sun is about to set. And tomorrow I'll be checking out this area, taking you on some of the hikes. And I hope you join me next week as I continue exploring Big Bend National Park.